Becoming a Platinum STEM school has changed the culture in our school, not only for students, but for teachers.
Our teachers have learned to integrate the arts and STEM together through our professional learning communities, or our PLC process. We've really focused on bringing in more STEM activities, and now we have upper grades teaching lower grades, and even lower grades teaching upper grades different activities and different opportunities to collaborate with each other, vertically aligning rather than just focusing on our specific grade levels.
In this Platinum STEM school, I'm very aware of the fact that these guys are problem solvers and they need to be able to problem solve.
So learning that we make mistakes and that mistakes are going to happen and we've got to keep going with it. So the very first word I teach them, the first slide that goes up is the word tinker. And so we talked about today you're just going to tinker with this. And what does tinker mean? Let's push some buttons. I don't tell them what the buttons mean, and so they just kind of play around with it and get to learn, and then we problem solve through that.
My classroom's more about application than about the theory behind things. I try and apply the concepts that their teachers are teaching in their classrooms in my classroom so they can see it in a real world application.
As I've taught and gotten to know the objectives within science, within math, sometimes ELA, I'm able to incorporate it in a more meaningful way too, even to the point where I can grade these things now. Before it was like, okay, here's a nice art project, we can tie it to science, it was fun, it was great. But now it's like, here's an art project we're doing, and we're using the objective, I am making a model in certain contexts. We have made STEM a priority out of our week, and so every Monday, regardless of what else is going on, we teach STEM. As a 5th grade team, I teach the visual art portion. Mrs. Gifford, she teaches the coding, robots, tech portion, and then Miss Cressy, she teaches singing and kind of like the notes and all of that, music. And so we have been able to prioritize it, and I feel like some other schools might not allow a team to say, hey, you're gonna take an hour out of your week where you're just teaching STEM.
They express themselves in ways that they wouldn't have before. So last year I noticed that the kids were very closed in on themselves and they didn't want to try anything that would put them out there. This year I've noticed that kids are putting themselves out there. They're trying new things.
I think it benefits all students. There are some students who never speak up in the classroom, no matter how hard or comfortable you have them. And then as soon as they're able to produce something with art and using STEM, it's like they just highlight and shine.
As long as you have that that love of learning, I believe every child can do it. And so that's why it's such a big part of my classroom, is because I want my students to feel empowered and I want them to feel like learning is just the way to go.